Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again this weekend. We are sweating balls in this house right now, and we're drinking coffee to make it worse.
Yep.
But today we are going to be talking about a movie that we watched last night, actually.
Yes.
Well, a few days ago now, if we put it on the weekend. But
yes,
we watched Glass. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but you definitely need to go and watch, if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Watch Split and Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of like an Avengers style mashup between those two movies.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen those, this is going to be filled with spoilers.
Yeah.
So make sure you watch those.
I don't think
you'd.
Yeah, you wouldn't appreciate it for what it is if you haven't seen.
Yes, and if you watch Glass without watching those two movies, and it still made sense to you, good on you.
Yeah, good job.
But for those of you who haven't, stop now and go and watch them first.
Yes.
Because we will be talking about what happens in the movie.
Of them. Yeah.
So, Split. We all know what it's about. Starring James McAvoy and my personal favourite, Anya Johnson-Joy.
Favourite?
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Interesting. Yeah,
she was in Morgan. And Morgan. If you guys haven't seen Morgan, Morgan's awesome. So a movie about a guy basically who has multiple personalities to deal with a childhood issue.
24 to be exact.
Well, they call them the Horde.
The Horde. In Glass, they start calling them the Horde.
I'm pretty sure they were called the Horde in Split too.
Oh, didn't pick up on that.
Because there was conflicting personalities that were
constantly to try to get the light.
To try and get the light, but also to bring the beast.
Yes, well, there were some that were for the beast and some that were against.
The more animalistic side of James McAvoy's character, Kevin.
Yes.
Who makes it into Glass, doing up to his old antics.
Yes.
Kidnapping young women and mutilating and torturing them.
Yes, all to feed the beast. So essentially that's the turmoil in Split, is that half of them want him to, half of them don't want him to.
Yes.
But essentially he just wants to, I guess the beast is his way of dealing, like he's the strongest of all of his personalities.
Well, he's the personality that got him through his childhood issues, it seems like, because Kevin doesn't want the light, as it's described.
Yes.
Well, described, sorry.
Yes.
So that's Split, and we're happy to see that Kevin is in Glass, and also is, I forgot her character's name now, Anya's character.
Yeah.
In Split, also makes it to Glass.
Yeah.
And then you've also got Unbreakable, so Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, the old parable about
I literally watched
superheroes.
that yesterday, like right before going to the movies to see Glass, and I'm so glad I did. Like
I'd watched it a long time ago, so I kind of had forgotten like the tiny points in the story, but I got the gist of it.
Yeah. Yes.
So the whole superhero like parody movie, like it's basically like the Avengers movie, but if it was a little bit more serious and not as over the top.
Bit more real, yeah, not so much like people in spandex costumes. It's about essentially
even though it's discussed in Glass.
Yes.
Because Samuel L. Jackson's Mr. Glass is a comic book how would you pronounce it? Aficionado? I only know the Spanish.
Yeah, I only know the Spanish word as well.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, no. Nah. I was just
He's
literally going to go say it in Spanish
a comic book expert.
Yes.
Is the easiest way to say it. And he, like, in Unbreakable, he actually causes a massive train accident. So to try and find...
Well, he's a terrorist, essentially.
Yeah, he is.
Essentially, he is.
He's a terrorist.
He causes, like, mass murders in order to find Bruce Willis's character.
To find special people with abilities.
Yeah,
so
the ones who survive.
He's like the psychopathic Professor X.
Yeah, villain.
He doesn't go and find people. He will like murder a bunch of people. The one that
find
survives
the
is
one
like
stands out.
you.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
That was very interesting. But like, okay, so that like you literally find out all the main big things in Unbreakable in like the last 20 minutes, which I feel like is a very concurrent. Is that the word I'm thinking of? Like it's very much like all of M Night Shyamalan.
They're all happening
within the last 30 minutes. It's like it's a slow boil until it reaches boiling point, and it's like woo.
I thought you meant like they're all happening at the same time. But anyway,
no, like every single one of them, because I watched them all within like a few days of each other. They all had that same style.
Well, he's famous for the twist. What a twist! You know,
I know, I do like his work, but you know.
Look. Don't get me wrong, Unbreakable was very boring when I did watch it. That's probably why it wasn't as memorable or as a favourite of mine.
Yeah.
Where Split was something that, it was basically a vehicle for James McAvoy's acting abilities.
It was very much showcasing his ability.
Correct.
Yeah.
He did very, very well, and he did fantastic in Glass as well.
Yeah.
So this on Glass. So this is the amalgamation of those two films into one.
Put together.
And the thing that joins them together is this psychiatrist that you
Sarah
know
Paulson,
there is some weird stuff going on with her from the get-go, and then it is revealed at the end that it was all a setup. That she's part of a secretive, like, cult,
secret society,
a
essentially.
society
Yeah.
that goes looking for these special people and puts them out of their misery, or they lobotomize them.
Well, yeah, she essentially had 3 days to convince these people. So they had, obviously, Bruce Willis's character as the overseer. They had Mr. Glass, Samuel L. Jackson, and they had James McAvoy, which was the Horde, or Kevin.
Yep.
And she had 3 days to essentially work with these 3 people to convince them that they weren't superhuman.
See, that's the thing.
Make them believe that they weren't.
Was the end goal always to use that machine to lobotomize them?
Well, I guess she was trying to...
How could she convince them that they weren't superhuman if they had superhuman abilities?
Well, that's the thing. She never really could because they were superhuman.
So what was all that?
So that essentially...
Why didn't they just do the machine straight away?
Well, because I guess that the machine wasn't necessarily... I guess it was like to try to fix that frontal lobe area of their brain, which she said that they had damage or something.
I thought it was just to lobotomize them, like to actually make them dummies.
I interpreted it as her trying to help them because I feel like her character was not malicious at all. I think she really did want to help them, and that kind of fixed that area, fixed it. So it would kind of restore it to normal capabilities. Or I didn't see her as trying to eradicate their brains. I don't know.
Anyway, the movie kind of plays off these 3 major characters. And the eventual showdown between the Overseer and the Horde, which does, it's a really slow boil to that point, and you do get to it, and you get given the idea that there's going to be a massive showdown at the end of it, but there isn't. It's a bit of a subversion, as I like to do in movies now. And what you find out, it was all a plan by Mr. Glass to capture, or to make the world know that those people exist.
Who they were.
He was playing them all along with the video cameras. He recorded everything.
Yeah.
And showed the world.
He essentially antagonized all the characters to
that point.
To that point, to make it, benefit him in the end, to prove his point.
It was like the Sarah Paulson character says. It was a suicide mission. But he achieved the goal. And at the end, it was a kind of a lofty, make you feel better goal kind of thing. Like he wanted everyone to reach their potential.
Yes.
And I think when he was saying it wasn't a showdown, it was an origin story. And people, you got you thinking is there going to be a next one? But then all of the major characters die.
That's what I didn't.
I like that.
I
thought
don't know.
That was good.
I went out of my way to watch the movies that essentially were the building blocks of this movie, all to see this movie and see them all die. It was kind of just I
kind of liked it. But throughout the entire film,
I enjoyed it.
There was that undercurrent that comic books aren't taken seriously. People who, even Sarah Paulson's character,
she was trying to rationalize.
Yeah, people who are obsessed with comic books have lost their perspective on life and blah 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 blah. And it's it's the kind of stuff you're hearing in Hollywood right now, actually, now that you think about it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are off comic book movies, or they're talking about how they're not art and they're not cinematic and they're ruining the cinema experience.
Samuel L's character is pretty well Mr. Glass.
But this movie is kind of feel like they're saying, no, there's still room.
Substance.
There's still substance in comics, or
there is.
Those kind of stories.
That every superhero comes from a human.
Yeah.
Background.
But I get with right now, there is a lot of superhero movies.
Yeah, it's a lot at one go.
And there's a lot of copy and paste stories.
Control C, yes. Lots of Control C.
Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V.
There is, yeah.
So
it's true.
It's good to see something like this.
Bit different.
Yeah. I mean, M Night Shyamalan has had a horror run with movies recently. He's had some good ones, he's had some bad ones, he has some good ones.
Yeah.
His last good one for me was probably Devil.
Signs.
No, Devil. Devil was good. I really like Devil. If you guys haven't seen Devil, watch Devil too.
I feel like I've just avoided his movies since.
But The Happening? Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought maybe at the end we'd see Mark Wahlberg and Glass come up with...
He's like, hey.
He would come out of the trees going, is everyone still alright?
That would have been that would have maybe picked it up a bit for me.
Yeah.
See, so we were talking about this before. So at the end, like you do see that little bit with like releasing the film, you know, of the whole showdown. But
in real life, that would not work.
yeah, and that. But Sarah Paulson's character pretty much asks that secret society, "Can I move on to the next one?"
Yeah, but she does it
like,
before she finds that out.
I know that, but still, why wouldn't she keep going then?
Because something's about
To
to
try
change.
and prove their point. Like,
something's about to change. But in real life, if anyone saw that like kind of footage, like
if I saw a
in
guy
real
like
life,
literally running
you
across
saw
the
that-
ground, I'd be like, "Ooh,
if you saw that in, like, on YouTube, you're like, wow, that's like
that guy's on
you'd be like
bath salts."
CGI or it's like a bad trip or
Yeah, you wouldn't believe
You wouldn't
it. You
believe
wouldn't just be sitting there in like Grand
very-
Central
it was-
Station, like,
it was very
oh my
optimistic.
god, is everyone else?
You wouldn't be
seeing
sharing it
this?
with someone next door. Hey, look at this.
This random person, like, well, okay.
He was very optimistic and thinking that would change the world. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, overall, I did enjoy the film, and this is probably one of our longest reviews because we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to rate it, what would you rate it?
I would probably an enjoyable 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look, I have a history of having a little doze off during movies, and for me, if it's not entertaining enough to keep me awake.
You fell asleep at the most entertaining part, though.
I know, but it was such a slow boil that I was just like, oh, okay, like, I might as well just shut my eyes for about 5 minutes. And then, like, everything happened in that time. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. You did fall asleep.
I did, like, it wasn't
Does happen.
enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Each to
I
their own.
appreciated it, though.
What did you guys think? Let us know in the comments below.
Yes.
And don't hesitate to leave us a message on Facebook, Instagram. We're all over the place. We have the store as well. If you guys want to get any kind of cool memorabilia and figurines, it's all there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that review, and we will see you bright and early, or late, wherever you are,
Whatever time.
on Wednesday.
All right.
All right, guys.
Catches.
See you later.